Welcome, dear viewers. Today, we're about to delve into the heart of ancient history, weaving through a tapestry of incredible tales that shape our understanding of the human past. The realm of time that we're about to explore is often overlooked, overshadowed by the more well-known empires that mark the epics of our collective past. The civilization we're going to explore today existed in what is now Sudan, and it was an influential powerhouse in its time. This is the story of the Kushite Empire, a kingdom that not only held its own in the world of the ancient civilizations, but also managed to take over the grand empire of Egypt itself. The Kushites were an African dynasty that flourished from around 785 BC to 350 AD. The empire was named after its geographic location at the confluence of the Blue Nile, White Nile, and the River Atbara, in what is now the Republic of Sudan. From the heartland of Kush, they rose to form one of the most powerful kingdoms in the Northeast African region, renowned for their formidable armies, resourceful kings, and distinctive culture. The story of the Kushite Empire's rise to power is a fascinating one, filled with strategic conquests, diplomatic maneuvers, and a deep understanding of the socio-political landscapes of their time. However, before they could take over Egypt, they first had to become a strong and stable power themselves. This journey to self-empowerment is just as crucial to their story as their eventual triumph over Egypt. In their early days, the Kushites were heavily influenced by the Egyptian civilization to their north. As a result, many aspects of their culture, from their art and architecture to their religious beliefs, bore a striking resemblance to those of the Egyptians. But the Kushites were far from mere imitators. Over time, they began to assert their own unique identity, crafting a distinctive civilization that blended elements of Egyptian culture with their own indigenous traditions. The Kushite leaders fostered a strong economy, taking full advantage of the region's natural resources. Gold was abundant in Kush, and it became a significant source of wealth for the empire. The Kushites also became proficient in iron production, which not only boosted their economy, but also strengthened their military capabilities. They crafted iron tools and weapons, giving them a strategic edge in warfare. As their power and influence grew, the Kushites began to expand their territory. They embarked on a series of military campaigns, conquering neighboring regions and incorporating them into their empire. These conquests served to further enrich the Kushites, bringing new resources and trade opportunities into their sphere. But it wasn't through military conquest alone that the Kushites extended their influence. They were also skilled diplomats, adept at forging alliances and manipulating the political landscape to their advantage. These skills would prove instrumental in their eventual takeover of Egypt. Now, let's turn our attention to the event that stands as the crowning achievement in Kushite history, the conquest of Egypt. This monumental event began in the 8th century BC, during a period of political turmoil in Egypt. Seeing an opportunity, the Kushite king Pi embarked on a daring campaign to extend his rule over Egypt. Pi was a skilled strategist and a strong leader. He was also a deeply religious man, who saw his campaign against Egypt as a holy mission. He believed that it was his divine duty to restore the worship of the traditional Egyptian gods, which he felt had been neglected by the current rulers of Egypt. Pi's military campaign was well planned and executed. He chose to strike at a time when Egypt was divided and weak, its provinces in a state of constant conflict with one another. Taking advantage of this internal chaos, Pi led his forces northwards, conquering one Egyptian city after another. But Pi did not merely conquer Egypt. He also sought to win over the hearts and minds of the Egyptian people. He portrayed himself not as a foreign invader, but as a liberator, a restorer of traditional religious and cultural practices. His respect for Egyptian customs and beliefs, combined with his strong leadership, gradually won him acceptance among the Egyptian populace. After Pi's death, his successors continued to rule over Egypt, marking the start of what is now known as the 25th dynasty, or the Kushite dynasty of Egypt. For over a century, the Kushites ruled over a unified Nile Valley, bringing a period of stability and prosperity to the region. However, the Kushite rule over Egypt did not last forever. They were eventually driven out by the Assyrians in the 7th century BC. Despite this setback, the Kushite Empire continued to thrive in its native homeland until it was finally toppled by the Kingdom of Aksum in the 4th century AD. Even after their fall, the legacy of the Kushite Empire lived on. Their influence can be seen in the archaeological remains scattered across Sudan. From the towering pyramids of Meroe to the ruins of the city of Napata, their tale serves as a testament to the resilience and resourcefulness of this powerful African empire. The Kushite Empire's rise to power, their takeover of Egypt, and their lasting legacy are fascinating chapters in the annals of history. They remind us that history is a vast and diverse tapestry, full of incredible tales waiting to be discovered. The Kushites might not be as well known as the Egyptians, the Romans, or the Greeks, but their story is just as compelling, and it deserves to be told. Let's carry on with the fascinating history of the Kushite Empire and their remarkable achievements. The period of Kushite rule in Egypt, known as the 25th dynasty, wasn't just about controlling a new territory. It was also a time of cultural, religious, and political resurgence. The Kushite pharaohs carried the mantle of leadership with grace and strength, focusing on restoring traditional Egyptian customs and beliefs that had waned over the years. The first Kushite pharaoh of Egypt, Pi, was an ardent follower of the Egyptian god Amun. He and his successors undertook extensive building projects in the cities of Thebes and Karnak, reviving the glory of these ancient religious centers. These efforts were not mere acts of piety. They were also strategic, designed to bolster their legitimacy in the eyes of the Egyptian people. But the Kushites did more than just restore old traditions. They also made significant contributions of their own to the cultural and intellectual life of Egypt. They were patrons of the arts and sciences, promoting the creation of new works of literature, sculpture, and architecture. This period saw a fusion of Kushite and Egyptian artistic styles, leading to a unique and distinctive cultural blend that is evident in the archaeological remnants we uncover today. Despite their achievements, the Kushites faced numerous challenges during their reign. They had to contend with the constant threat of invasion by the Assyrians, a powerful empire to the northeast. Moreover, they also had to navigate the complex political dynamics of ruling over a land that was culturally different from their own. Their diplomatic acumen was put to the test when dealing with the Assyrian threat. Instead of resorting to outright confrontation, the Kushite rulers adopted a more subtle approach. They forged alliances with other powers in the region, creating a network of support that helped to deter Assyrian aggression. However, the Assyrian threat eventually became too great to ignore. In the 7th century BC, under the rule of the Assyrian king Esarhaddon, the Kushites were driven out of Egypt. This marked the end of the 25th dynasty and the Kushite rule over Egypt. Despite their expulsion from Egypt, the Kushites continued to prosper in their homeland. Their capital, Meroe, became a vibrant center of trade, culture, and industry. Ironworking, in particular, flourished in Meroe, making it one of the major iron production centers in the ancient world. The Kushites also continued their tradition of monumental architecture. They built numerous pyramids, temples, and palaces, many of which survive to this day. These structures are not mere historical relics. They are symbols of the power and resilience of the Kushite civilization, testaments to their enduring legacy. In the end, the Kushite Empire fell not to a foreign invader, but to environmental changes. Overuse of their land led to desertification, making it increasingly difficult to support a large population. Faced with these challenges, the Kushite Empire gradually declined, until it was finally overthrown by the Kingdom of Aksum in the 4th century AD. But even in their fall, the Kushites left behind a remarkable legacy. They demonstrated the potential of strategic thought, diplomatic prowess, and cultural resilience. They showed that it was possible for an African civilization to rise to prominence, take over a powerful empire like Egypt, and leave a lasting impact on the world. As we continue to uncover the secrets of the Kushite Empire, we come to appreciate the richness and diversity of human history. We learn that every civilization, no matter how big or small, has a story worth telling, a legacy worth remembering. That's the intriguing tale of the Kushite Empire, a resilient kingdom that not only built a powerful empire in the heart of Africa, but also managed to take over one of the most iconic civilizations in human history. Their story is a testament to the enduring power of strategic thought, resilience, and cultural interplay, making them one of the most captivating chapters in our human past. As we uncover more stories like these, we continue to expand our understanding of the world and the intricate tapestry of human history. That brings us to the end of our journey into the history of the Kushite Empire. I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most intriguing chapters of our past. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, history is not just about the victors. It's also about the resilience and resourcefulness of those who dared to challenge the status quo.